Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network. Karen Nadeau joining us here today from Mainly Coaching. She's the owner, and we are excited to have her talking about the transformative coaching services that she can help you with. We're talking life, business, relationships, and so much more. Welcome, Karen. How are you today?
Welcome. It's so great to be here. So good to see you again, Jill.
You too. How's everything? How's the week been? Anything excitingly new in Maine?
Oh no, the sun's shining.
Yeah.
It started off raining, but it came out this afternoon and it's finally starting to feel like spring, like the birds were
Yeah.
chirping earlier. And I was just,
Same
makes
here.
me melt.
Yep. I know yesterday was a warm one in New York, and I'm sure near you it hit like 72 degrees. Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was perfect.
First and foremost, new listeners each and every week. So please tell us a little bit about what you do to start.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you mentioned, I'm the owner of Mainly Coaching. We do life, business, and relationship coaching, but more recently, I have decided to focus more on confidence coaching. So, if you follow me on social media, you probably have seen Ask Coach K series. And I'm really looking forward to kind of elaborating on that, but just really helping people build their self confidence and achieve the life that they desire. So, really looking forward to kind of getting more specific with my clients.
Perfect. We're going to get to know you again, just a little bit of your background.
Yeah.
Share with us, kind of what brought you here. And I know we have an action-packed show today, so I'm excited for that.
Yeah. So I, since I was very young, I was always the person that people would come to with their problems. And it made me kind of cranky when I would get home and unload on my own mother. But it was definitely an experience as far as my friends would come to me, they would have these problems. We would sit down and we would talk about them. And after we talked about them, they always felt so much better. And that's been my life. When I was in telecommunications, same thing. I had a little corner office. There was a chair that sat in the
Mhm.
corner, and people would come and see me. So it's always something that I've been passionate about. But about 5 years ago, I decided to become a Jay Shetty certified coach. And just that whole experience, that transformative experience for me, led me to really wanting to help others. I am divorced. I've been divorced twice, and just wanting to help women, especially, move through that divorce process, learn about co-parenting and all of that. And then again, I've more recently have realized that a lot of the issues that come from stem from confidence. So that's why I've kind of steered towards becoming a confidence coach.
Awesome. And yeah, so a brief overview of that. So you mentioned certified Jay Shetty coach in
Yeah.
particular, right? And that
Yes.
journey to get here, how long did that take? And I know you juggled a lot with that as well,
Yeah.
being a single parent.
Yes. So I have a 21-year-old and a 12-year-old. And when I did this, obviously it was 5 years ago. So they were a little bit younger. And I was working full time. So it took me about 2 years to go through the program all the way through it, and getting all of my coaching hours and everything I needed to do to become certified. But to your point, it was a lot of different hats, a lot of different juggling. So that's really where I'm hoping to take everything that I learned through that process and help others go through it as well.
And then also finding that work-life balance, right?
Yes, absolutely. That's such a huge thing. I just recently, um, it's called the Balance Breakthrough Quiz, and it's all about learning how to juggle. I don't know if you're familiar with the Wheel of Life, but it has kind of 8 different categories in this Wheel of Life. And this quiz is specific to that. So you can
Oh,
kind of
okay.
go on, take this quiz, all of the different categories, and then you get a personalized analysis. But as any individual, I mean, we balance so many different things in our lives, and it can become to a point that we just feel like we're on the hamster wheel. So, this whole objective of this exercise is to really help people learn to get off the hamster wheel and find some more balance so they're chasing their desires and their goals.
So is this the balance breakthrough quiz that's on your site?
Yeah. Yeah, it's mainly coaching.com/quiz. And I just released it this week, actually. So I'm excited to be able to help
It says
others.
embrace your journey. Your breakthrough is just a click away. You can sign up there to take it. And so it's an 8 question quiz, and that's going to
Okay.
really give you some insight to wow, the work that we need, what we're
Yeah.
lacking, all the above.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. So I tell once people take the quiz, I say give me 48 to 72 hours because it is a personalized goal. So depending on where you rate on each different category, obviously the objectives are going to be a little bit different. And I want to make sure that everybody who takes that quiz has actionable tips to kind of excel on that, even if they don't join me as a coaching client.
Awesome. Exciting. Thank you for sharing that. All right, cool, cool, cool. We're going to move on forward here. Let me just ask another thing on your website, right? So if you sign up for that, you also offer an initial consultation, right?
Yes, yes. So I do a free 30-minute consultation with anybody who's interested in working with me. That's really because it's not coaching's not for everyone. You really have to be in the right frame of mind, be willing to take the actionable steps that are needed. So it gives us a great opportunity to just have a conversation. We can learn a little bit about each other and make sure that we can have a healthy relationship moving forward. I can understand, okay, are you the type of personality that really needs that accountability partner that I need to check in with you on a consistent basis? Or are you more of the person that needs maybe a little bit more hand holding on a day-to-day basis, and some actionable steps that you need to take? So just really trying to make sure that the plan that I provide is customized to the individual.
Oh, cool. I've never heard of this Wheel of Life. Do you want to give us more details on it?
Yeah, yeah, I'd love to. So our life has these different categories. So it could be that you are, well, I'll actually talk about all of the different categories. So it would be career and professional, right? So we all, for the most part, have jobs, even if we're stay-at-home moms. That's a full-time job. Personal, personal growth and development, health and fitness, relationships. So it can be either a romantic relationships or relationships with family and friends, finances, and then physical environments. That would be your home, your workspace, your office, just how you are feeling in that type of environment, and then your contribution to community or society. So those are kind of the different segments. And sometimes certain segments have a higher priority for certain individuals. It could be, I know, as, as we talked about with our kids, I was the volunteer. I always volunteered. I was the president of the PTF for I don't even know how many years.
My
And
goodness.
I enjoyed it thoroughly. I really, really enjoyed being able to, help my community in that aspect. But there was a time where I was like, okay, when it came time to really follow my dreams and my passion and launching this coaching business, I realized that maybe it was now time for me to step aside from that, give the reins on to others so I could really focus and fulfill myself in other areas. So that's what's important is for us to really have that take a step back, do an exercise like this that says, okay, am I in alignment with where I want to go in this stage of my life? And I think when that starts to kind of go off center, that's where we start to feel like we're on the hamster wheel. We're just,
Mm.
going day in and day out, regularly doing our same things that we always do. And it's not fulfilling.
And the same patterns and things begin if you don't get off that hamster wheel. And you shared with
Exactly.
us a little about your struggle, right, with your relationship,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what brought you here, right?
It is, yeah. So I have a podcast as well, and I talk a lot about. I have a breakup through breakthrough series where I kind of break down and share a lot of my own personal stories. So when I was first divorced, my son was 9, and I was married for 9 years, and it was, my college sweetheart, and I just followed that next step of okay, like you date, you live together, you get married, whatever that looks like, you have children, and it just went. But we were so different. Like we were just so different, which might work for some people, but he could live out in the woods in a cabin and fish and hunt. And I'm much more career driven. So eventually we drifted apart. And I jumped from that relationship into my second marriage. And then I had my daughter. Did not take any of that time to do the self healing and internal work that I really needed to do. And that was an eye opener. So I was married with to him for about 3 years, and from there I've spent dedicated, I would say, the past it's been 12 years now that we've been, 10 years that we've been divorced. And I've spent the past 10 years just really becoming true to myself. Um, I was always went from one relationship to the next growing up, like from like sixth grade on, it was, break up with somebody, jump into a relationship. So taking that time and really understanding who I was as a person and what I enjoyed has been pivotal for me. So taking those lessons and sharing those with other women, because that is one of the biggest obstacles that a lot of women face is that
Yeah, yeah,
need for
uh-huh.
dependency.
Yep, never worked out for me yet. I've never been married. I still can't even get
Yeah,
that far.
yeah, it's hard. Dating's hard. I don't know if you follow
Two
Matthew
kids now, I'm
Hussey.
7 and 9. How do you, yeah, it's just like, you can't.
Yeah.
There's no room. They
Have you
don't
followed
get it.
Matthew Hussey at all?
No, I
He,
don't.
he's a
Um,
relationship coach. He was also extremely pivotal in my dating. So after I was divorced and I started dating, he provides a lot of excellent information too. So if you are also going through any of the listeners going through that, I highly recommend listening to Matthew Hussey. He has a lot of different
but
course
how old were
offerings.
your kids wait, how old were your kids when,
Um, Yeah, so my son was 9 when I got divorced from him, and my daughter was 2, and there's a large age gap between them. So my daughter's now 12, and yeah, so she was 2 when I got divorced. So I feel that like it was,
oh,
and juggling the career and doing all the things by myself is was a challenge, but I, I've learned that the challenges become our story, right? It's what
it's so
really
true.
does make us stronger. And I have become that person for a lot of women that say, how did you do it? Or what, how did you get to this point to being as successful as you are? I have property, I have, kids are healthy and thriving and doing the right things. And, it's to be able to share and my story and how I can help other people and offer recommendations that they can use has been definitely part of my testimony.
Yeah, and would you mind sharing some of these stories? I know you have some stories that you wanted us to, have our listeners listen to get a take of a little bit how you've been helping them. Thank you.
Yeah. So, with the confidence coaching specifically, one of the success stories that I've had recently is actually with a gentleman. And he had a full time career. And the full time career, we actually did this wheel of life exercise. And like career was like 2, health was like 3 to 5, financial situation like 7, physical environment, like just everything that he scored on that wheel of life. Like I left there feeling my heart just hurt. He had so
Oh,
many on that below 5. Um, and he just recently, in the last month, he has left his full-time job that was just draining him. He felt the lack of appreciation and he started his own business. And he is now making almost double the income that he was making at that other job. So 2 weeks ago, we just kind of went through
wow.
the wheel of life exercise and to just see where he started on that to how high he's come on those scoring is just, it made me tear up when we went through it just to see
Oh
that
my
transition when,
goodness.
because it can be one area of your life, truly, it can be one area of your life that filters down on the other areas, right? If you don't like what you're doing, if you don't like your career, but you are stuck, you don't have the confidence, you don't know what tips or what tools or what trainings or what have you to leave from that position, that just trickles down to all the different areas, right? If you're not happy, you're probably overeating. If you're not happy, you're coming home and you're stressed and your kids are, talking to you or mom, 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 dad, 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 and you just are losing your temper. You just have no patience.
Hmm.
I mean, if you're stuck at work, you are drained. You have no energy to go volunteer. You're not spending, your evening going to the food shelter or volunteering at the
No,
PTF. Like you just have
no.
nothing left to give. So that's why things like this wheel of life exercise shed light on those areas that are really not working for you. And if you can fix one thing and take one small action, it can truly just trickle down to all the different areas of your life and you just see the improvement everywhere. So to bring some light to that and help people is really my objective.
Thank you. And remind us of all the ways we can reach out to you, please.
Yeah. So info@mainlycoaching.com is my email, and my telephone number is 207-949-6983. My website has all of my information, mainlycoaching.com. And
Yep,
I'm
I'm
also on
there
social
now.
media. Yeah. So social media, Instagram, mainlycoaching.com, TikTok, and Facebook, all under Mainly Coaching.
Got it. And it's a confidence coaching, as we call it. So a lot of people are going through divorce, but not just that, the other things that you can help someone with. Would you mind sharing?
Yeah. So relationships, divorce coaching, but with the confidence coaching, so much stems from that lack of confidence. I mean, if you're not feeling good about who you are in your skin, then you're not taking good care of your health. If you don't feel good in your skin, you're not going for that promotion because you're thinking there's 10 other people that are going to apply. So they're just going to pass you by. So the confidence coaching really does apply to life, business, and relationships. But it stems from that confidence piece. So that's why I'm kind of focusing more on that area. Um, so it doesn't matter which area in your life you're struggling with, it's likely that confidence that you're missing.
Aha, and we'll have that aha awake moment, hopefully, right? You will
Yes,
empower
yes,
us to
yes.
be our best selves. And,
Yeah,
there's some great testimonials, of course, on your website as well. And it's just always good to see these positive stories. And by the way, men and women too, right? That's another thing because
absolutely.
I wasn't sure. I know some people just, deal with women or
Yeah,
you do both, obviously.
I do.
Um, did you want to share? You also are active with your blog. Is there something else you wanted to make sure we
Yeah.
cover for today?
Yeah, I know we talked about it before too, but when it comes to communication, right, I think that there's two critical things in our life, the confidence, right? And with confidence comes communication and being able to effectively communicate. So there is a blog that's on there that talks about the five love languages, and we've covered this before in one of our phone conversations, but that's such a useful tool is to understand um, what love languages there are and how you can apply it to your different relationships. And then something else too for those that are going through divorce, men or women. I do also have a 10-step guide that is a free tool for anybody that is going through divorce, struggling. That can also be found on my website, right on the homepage. You can click the link at the top, but that's a great tool that gives you actionable tips in order to just heal. I want to say faster, but I don't like using that word because I want you to go at your own pace. But it gives you actionable tips to move through the healing process of divorce and be ready to build the life that you desire.
And I see you say, what is your dream, your career, relationship, balance in your life, friendship on your Instagram page, by the way, that's Karen underscore mainly coaching. So there's so much
Yes.
we could work on. Any
Yeah.
other stories that you wanted to share with us?
Oh goodness. I would just, I think as far as stories, I mean, I have a friend that I've coached, and in that process of understanding her journey, it was a little bit different. It was more of a career story, and her imposter syndrome. I don't know if you're familiar with imposter syndrome, but there seems to be a lot more talk about that. And for those of you that don't know what imposter syndrome is, it's when, for me, the way that I can kind of relate to it is you're not good enough, or there's people who have done it better than you, so you can never reach to that level. And other people will look at you and say and tell you and say you're wonderful and you could do this and go go go, but until you believe it yourself. So this one client that I coached, that's what it was relating to, and she was going for an executive role at her company, and just these limiting beliefs that was keeping her from actually applying and going through the process. And she kept hearing these voices from you know wanting to measure up for family members and how to do this, but was it really what she wanted to do, or was she just going down this path for the wrong reason? So exploring that, in the end she did end up getting the job that she dreamt of, and not the other path that would not have made her happy, but maybe would have fulfilled some uh, family obligations. So she ended up following her passion, and that was another huge success story. But building that confidence, getting rid of that imposter syndrome so she would learn to believe in herself and chase her dreams.
Oh, beautiful. And
Yeah.
is there any specific coaching programs that you're offering currently? Any packages? How many months do we need? How many sessions normally do
Yeah.
you need? Or is that all? And then you offer a free consultation, right? So I guess
Yeah.
is that how
That
you develop
we
and figure out what
yeah,
someone?
that's spot on. So that's definitely how we start. So typically with that free 30-minute, we can determine most of my packages are 4, 8, and 12 weeks. And that really depends on what that goal is, right? Like if it's a financial situation and you're trying to dig yourself out of debt, that might take, more of 8 weeks of learning all of the different tools and the different things that we can apply and practices and making sure that you're following through. Relationship coaching typically is more 12 weeks, but just because there's a lot to unpack and we kind of go through those 10 steps that I talk about in the guide in more detail. But sometimes just for a month worth, 4 weeks session is great for somebody that's just needs to kind of outline the steps they need to take to achieve that first goal, but are really good at holding themselves accountable once they kind of unpack what they need to do. So that's an ideal situation for those types of clients. But starting with
Well,
that first 30-minute consultation will help us determine kind of the path.
awesome. I love this. I love this. And do you also work with those that basically just feel stuck, whether it's career or life, something's holding them back and it goes back. They always say something's from, it could be trauma from childhood. And that's why I don't know where you need that as a life coach can guide you with that. Do you need a mental health counselor? And some people get
Yeah.
confused with that. I just like to
So
establish that.
no, great point. So it really depends on what that trauma is, right? And it depends on, is it something that they're harboring beforehand, or is it something that they've already kind of have worked through that, but they're feeling stuck on how to move forward because they just don't know what steps to take. So I really work as a coach, I work where people are today and creating that map of where they want to go. So if it's something that there's a past trauma that they still need to work through, highly recommend getting therapy for that. I really want to work with moving you towards your goals and how to achieve. So sometimes it's in conjunction with therapy. I've partnered with plenty of clients who go to therapy to unpack some of that stuff, but they also want to not waste any more time to achieve their goals. So they'll do both.
But we still got 3 minutes left in your show. Just want to make sure we're covering everything. If you are just tuning in, mainlycoaching.com, that's the website. And you got to take that quiz we talked about earlier. If you are just tuning in
Yes.
saying, what quiz? Go to the website, right? Mainlycoaching.com/quiz. Fill out, answer the questions, and within like 3 days or so, she'll get back to you with a idea of how she can help. I love this.
Yeah, wonderful. I don't know if you're familiar with the Jamie Kern Lima and her new book that she just published. It's a New York Times bestseller worthy. Have you? Okay.
No, no,
Go get
no.
the
Tell me, tell
book.
me. I haven't read a book. I haven't read a book in 20 years. I'm the wrong person to ask about
Okay,
this.
well, it's on Audible. It's on
Oh,
Audible. So if you're in
perfect.
the car or traveling, like it's
Tell,
on
tell, tell
Audible.
me about it.
Yes, it's amazing. So I just actually attended, I think it was about 3 weeks now. She did a book launch. It was a 13 and a half hour seminar. It was just so inspiring. She had Tony Robbins on. She had Mel Robbins, Jay Shetty, Matthew Hussey, Ed Milet, Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, like all of
Wow.
these who's who in the self-improvement field poured into everybody that attended. I think there was 260,000
Oh my
people
goodness.
on this. It was a Zoom type call, and you could have like VIP or what have you. But it was all in response to this book launch about being worthy, really focused towards women, and talking about things like imposter syndrome. But there's really this existing movement going on right now about making sure that women have that confidence, understand that you are worthy no matter what your past is, that you can kind of move on from that and live the life of your dreams. So, just finished the book last week. Phenomenal, highly recommend. So, for those of you that are listening that are struggling with some of those things, might not be quite ready for coaching, I highly recommend that you go and also grab that book.
Awesome. Thank you. That sounds fascinating. I'm going to Google it when we finish the show. And we're almost out of time in our last 2 minutes together. How did you want to leave off?
I just want to say thank you so much. I wanted you. Did you end up going on vacation with your
Me?
kiddos too?
Thank
Yes.
you. We did. Well, which time was this? The Florida vacation,
Yeah,
or
I
was
think
this
in
the?
February you
That
were
was the
planning
last time
on.
we spoke. It was. Yeah, we did
Yeah.
Florida just for, I think, 4 days or 3. It was my
Oh,
niece was supposed to
wonderful.
have a cheerleading competition, and then she didn't make it, so we still kept the vacation. And we what did
Oh,
we do? We did little things. We did the Kennedy Space Center. Then my son vomited, so we had to leave. We did the Crayola Factory. We didn't do any Disney type stuff, but it was
yeah.
good. It was good to get away. And I was
Oh,
actually off with them then the week when they were off of school, which was odd.
yeah.
I never take off, and I did, so
Oh,
it was
good.
nice. Thank you for
Oh,
asking.
good. Yeah, I
Good
was wondering.
memory.
We would have, well, I think we would have passed too, because the week before February vacation, we were in Florida and we had done the cruise.
That's right.
And
That's right. It's all coming
yeah,
back to me. I forgot you
yeah,
told
yeah,
me
yeah.
about this.
Oh, but we had an amazing time too. I actually got to hold a sloth, Jill. Like we went to Honduras and I held a sloth and monkeys. Monkeys were jumping all over us as well. It was such an
There's
experience.
there was something on my kids found it on TikTok the other day. Google it. It's a baby sloth. So it's one of the handlers are giving back the baby sloth to the mother sloth. They were lost, and it
Yeah.
was like the fastest moving sloth grabbing the baby. It was so cute, adorable. That's right. My goodness, I totally forgot about that. Thank you for
Yeah.
reminding me.
Yeah.
And I know vacations are great, right? They definitely can help put your mind at ease and perspective. Hey, go on
Uh,
the cruise, check out the website and take the quiz while you're on your cruise.
yeah, exactly.
All right, Karen, how can
Exactly.
we reach you?
You can reach me at mainlycoaching.com or info@mainlycoaching.com is my email. And I
All right.
look forward to talking to you.
Thank you. Same here. Have a great day. Enjoy your weekend, and we'll chat
Thank you.
soon. Thanks again, Karen.
Sounds good. Thanks, Jill. Take
Bye
care.
bye. Have a great day.
Bye.
To all of our listeners, please stay tuned. More of the show's coming up after this. Don't go anywhere.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.